So if you're a business owner who cannot seem to get consistent clients, even though you know your stuff inside and out, you're really experienced, you always over deliver for your clients, then I've made this video especially for you. Because we all know if you're struggling to get consistent clients and buyers, or just clients and buyers like full stop, your entire business is at risk. And that's not hyperbole, right? You can't have a business if you don't have clients. There is a reason why that cliche exists, that clients are the lifeblood of a business. And it's why in this video, I'm going to show you the #1 reason why you're not getting clients, and how a really simple change in your messaging strategy can totally turn your sales around. And how do I know this approach works? Well, because I've used it to create more than $250 million in sales for my clients, whether they are solo founders, consultants, fractional people, SMBs, Fortune 500 clients like Microsoft and McDonald's. It works for businesses of all sizes because it speaks to fundamental principles of buyer psychology. So I'm going to tell you the secret. Are you ready? The solution to 99% of the sales issues that my clients have, and that you probably have too, comes down to two things: the pill and the peanut butter. And you might be going, what does that mean? Huh? Like, okay. If you've ever had to give a dog medicine, you know exactly what I'm talking about. For those who don't, let me explain. If you ever need to give a dog medicine, especially a pill, you can't just give them like a pill straight up. You can't just shove it into their mouth because they'll spit it right out onto the floor. It tastes weird, tastes like medicine, and they don't like it. So what you have to do to give your dog this pill is to hide it in something that tastes good to them. So it might be cheese or yogurt. In my case with my dogs, it's always been dog-friendly peanut butter. Once you cover this pill in peanut butter, the dog will very happily like eat it up, and it allows them to swallow their medicine without even realizing it. Weirdly, the same approach works in sales too. The reason it works in sales is because your clients are a lot like dogs in that way. Your clients don't actually want to buy the medicine. So the medicine in this case is how you deliver the solutions to their problems. What they really want to buy is the peanut butter, the stuff that tastes good, the benefits, like the outcomes, the accolades that they're going to get, like their boss is going to, give them a pat on the back and say, you did a great job with that project. That's the stuff that they want. They want the stuff that tastes good. But here's where most of the people that I work with get stuck. They confuse the pill and the peanut butter. So we're going to talk about which one is which and how we're going to fix it in a second. But first, I want us to kind of level set and understand why this happens, the psychology behind why we, as consultants and business owners, get stuck here. And it's because psychology says we're terrible at predicting how other people think, or how they're going to act, or even what they value. And this is something called the false consensus effect. It says that we tend to overestimate how much other people are like us. So how much they share our beliefs or our values or our priorities or our goals. We just sort of assume that everybody sees the world the same way we do, which makes sense, right? You just can only see the world through your eyes, so why not assume everybody else is a lot more like you? But here's what I see the most: consultants, coaches, fractional folks, business owners, agency owners who are deeply passionate about their methodology. So how they deliver results to their clients. Some examples of that might be like design thinking, or even like AI, a certain way to do data analytics or predictive analytics, behavioral science, change management techniques, or even like your own unique processes and frameworks, your signature IP, which I'm going to talk about in a later video, by the way, but your way of doing things. I can laugh a little bit at this because I fell for this myself for many years, and I've seen so many other people fall for it. They love this way of doing things so much that they have bet it all, and they've made this their livelihood. But they just kind of naturally assume that because they find it so fascinating, that other people, namely potential clients, are going to find it as fascinating as they do. But guess what? They don't. And that's where most consultants and agencies and business owners, even, freelancers and fractional folks, go wrong, because they forget this one guiding principle. Which part of your offer is the pill and which part of your offer is the peanut butter isn't actually up to you. It's up to the people who are going to buy your offer, so your potential clients. I want you to think about it like this. Imagine that you're super, super hungry, you're in a new city, and you walk into a restaurant. You are ready to eat. And the chef, instead of coming over and like bringing a menu, he comes out and he does like a 90-minute presentation explaining this special like slicing and dicing technique instead of showing you the menu. And you're sitting there and you're hungry and you're probably pretty annoyed, right? Because not that he isn't fascinating, not that he isn't skilled, not that he's not a super smart person, he or she. And it's not that even knife skills are not important to making delicious food. You just don't care too much when you're hungry and your goal is to fill your belly with something delicious, how it got that way. You really care about the end result, right? You care about the food that you're going to get on your plate and the fact that it tastes nice, while the chef cares about something different, right? He cares about how it got made. So if the chef was talking to other chefs, they would care. They could have a conversation all night about different ways to slice and dice. But the chef is delivering a product for you, the customer, in this moment. So they need to deliver what you care about. In this case, it's delicious food. Maybe they can share a few lines about the technique that they used to create this food in the menu. Maybe even like the whole back of the menu could be a story about it. It's not that either one isn't important, how you made the food and then the end product. It's just the order of operations, what you, the customer or client, care about in that moment, and how the technique is presented and packaged to you that makes a big difference. So, this same situation I just described plays itself out in pitches and discovery calls and businesses every single day. And that's why every day I help my clients figure out what's the pill and what's the peanut butter in their business because it's so important. And I do that, by the way, in my one on one coaching and inside of Chief Business Copilot, which is where I help consultants, coaches, agencies, business owners to frame their offers and products in a way that makes it so that their potential clients actually want to buy it. Also, you can get on the path to a million-plus solo brand without burning out, without getting frustrated, and with booking consistent sales. And if you want to learn more, by the way, you can just check out chiefbusinesscopilot.com. I'll put a QR code on the screen, or you can just click the link that's in the description and in the pinned comment. So now let's talk for a second about a real life example of this. This is one of my clients. I've anonymized her name. We're going to call her Beverly for right now. And Beverly is a brilliant behavioral scientist. She has a PhD. She's definitely smarter than me, and she's very, very experienced. And when we started first working together, she had been recently laid off. And she decided that she wanted to go solo and do some solo consulting instead of looking for another job in, frankly, what is an oversaturated market. And if you're watching this video when it's first coming out, you probably know the situation very well. Things are rocky, they're unpredictable. And a lot of people, instead of trying to find that next job, are deciding to go solo instead. So Beverly was getting really frustrated. She was getting a lot of interest. She was getting actually a lot of opportunities to pitch, which is great. But her offers and her sales language just were not landing clients, which to her made zero sense because she was just pitching what she had been paid like lots and lots of money to do in her job for years, really. Beverly was doing what a lot of people do in that situation. She was just confusing the pill and the peanut butter. So she was so excited and interested in behavioral science that she kind of naturally assumed that it was equally as exciting for these potential clients. The thing is she was pitching her services to marketing directors, CEOs, CMOs, sometimes CTOs, but these executives weren't sitting around thinking, you know what I really need to like please my boss or the shareholders or make the stock go up? I need behavioral science. Nobody has ever thought that. They were just too focused on their own problems, right? Why aren't we hitting our sales targets? Why is customer retention dropping? They were not interested in behavioral science per se. They were interested in what behavioral science could do for their business. And that seems like a very subtle difference, but that reframe is the difference between landing a bunch of clients and just never, ever selling your skills. What these businesses want, these clients wanted, were more sales and bigger profits and like happy customers that bought stuff brought to you by better, faster, or cheaper ways of doing it with behavioral science. Not thinking, hey, behavioral science is so cool. Let's find a way to use it in our business. Like, that doesn't happen. And when it does happen, it is so rare that there's no way that Beverly or me or you or anybody else could hope to build like a sustainable business on it. And really, it just comes down to this idea. Behavioral science in this example was her pill, not her peanut butter. Even though to her it was the peanut butter, it wasn't for her clients. Buyers in general do not purchase based on like a feature or methodology. They purchase based on what they want. So their problems, how they see the world. They're not buying what or how you do what you do. They're buying what they achieve or get after working with you. It's kind of like if you go to a personal trainer, like nobody actually wants to get up at 6 a.m. and like do burpees for an hour, which sounds like torture. That's crazy. They want to feel like confident at the beach, or they want to have more energy so they can play with their kids, or they want to like fit into their favorite pair of jeans again. The exercise is the pill, and the benefits are the peanut butter. And personal trainers can get that backwards too. They enjoy exercise. To them, it's something that's like just fun for its own sake. But for most of the people buying a personal trainer or time with the personal trainer, it's the exact opposite. That's why they're buying a personal trainer. And look, I don't say any of this, by the way, to offend anyone or to, offend behavioral scientists or, even personal trainers or chefs. I say it to show you that if you want to sell your services, not just like impress people with how cool or interesting they are, you have to frame them in a way that's exciting to the people buying them, not to you and not to your industry or other people who do what you do. As an aside, by the way, I come from ad agency land. Ad agencies and marketing folks are really guilty of this. They want to impress each other, but they forget about the client. It's not about you, it's about what your client needs, it's about what your buyer needs. And look, certainly there is a time and a place to impress people, right? Like impress the industry, win some awards. That's all fine. Like that can be important for your business. But you just can't sell to a client like you would pitch to your industry. And again, this is another thing I think people really confuse. Like if you were going to sell, you need to frame things and peanut butterize your offers in a way that appeals to clients, not other people who do what you do. Your job is not to convince the client to fall in love with your methodology. Your job is to show them how they can get results or the results that they want by using your methodology. And again, that is a really subtle but very, very important difference that a lot of people miss. And it's because we're just so close to our methodology. So if it's behavioral science or AI, like design thinking, creativity, even like design, your agency's unique process, this thing that your consultancy has invented, or like some new AI tool, whatever that special sauce is that you bring to the table, it's the sauce, it's not the meal. It's a little bit of flavor, but it's not what they're buying, right? It's not what your client wants to eat for dinner. It's just a nice little flavor on top. So now that we all know about this pill and the peanut butter, how do we actually use this idea to get more clients? Well, I'm going to give you 5 key questions that you can ask yourself today that's going to help you figure out if you've confused those two things, and if you have, how you can sort of unravel it and figure it out. So the first thing you need to ask is, are you selling an outcome for your clients, or are you selling a process? And it's not to say that you can't have, a process that helps you sell an outcome. In fact, everyone should have that. And that is a part of, what I teach inside of Chief Business Copilot, things like signature IP. That's all important, but make sure that you're leading with an outcome, not a process. The second question is, do you know what your clients are actually trying to achieve? Not only rationally, like in numbers and sales, things like that, but emotionally. Are they trying to look good in front of the boss? Are they trying to get that next promotion? What are they trying to get out of working with you? The next question is, how is success measured for them? Do you know? Have you asked them? You should. The next question is the language you're using their language or your language? And once you can kind of figure that out, start to think about how the answers to all the questions that I just brought up are being addressed in your content, in your lead magnets, in your social media posts, your offers, like even your sales materials and the words that you use. And here's the one thing that I want you to walk away from this video remembering. The most successful consultants, coaches, agencies, and businesses are not necessarily the most skilled. They're the ones that understand that their expertise and their experience alone is not going to sell. It's how you package it that really counts. And when you stop selling the pill and you start wrapping it in a bit of peanut butter, I swear everything in your business just gets about 1,000 times easier. And to help you do it, I've put together a totally free email course called the $1,000,000 Solo Brand Blueprint. It's 7 days of my best strategies to help you package and sell your expertise so well that this isn't even exaggeration. It feels like it sells itself. You can get it at the QR code here or visit the link in the description. I want you to remember the experts who succeed aren't trying to make buyers like love their methodology. They're showing their buyers how to get what they already love, the results, the outcomes, just delivered through this unique expertise or this unique methodology or way of doing things or looking at the world. And by the way, if you want to learn more about finding more clients and building your $1,000,000 solo business, then I want you to check out this video next, where I'm going to walk you through how to create content that actually gets clients, not just likes and shares. Until next time.